Now, when you're locked up, out of sight, out of mind, and you find yourself away from a person that you're supposed to be in partnership with, which is like a girlfriend, a fiance, a wife, whatever it is, getting a, John Doe letter sucks. Them shits be coming in the mail, and you be like, she loves me not. She loves me not. She loves me not, right? And before you know it, you find yourself realizing, dang, I feel like I'm getting me a John Doe letter. For this video here, I'm going to be talking about the John Doe letters that I received while I was incarcerated from people who left me hanging while I was locked up. And I'm going to be telling y'all about the things that I seen people do that received John Doe letters. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm the best, finna be this way till I EOS. Take it how you want, nigga, yeah, I'm a pro. Fuck around, I'll bust your lot while you're at Vizzo. I hate to be this way, but I live for the moment. Waking up every day, show me an opponent. Shanks on deck, hitting bitch with locks. So much pool, I can even start you from the box. You don't wanna pay rent, got me bent. Got lax on deck, your money was well spent. Vultures on the prowl, so don't try testing. Step 2, cause violent first steps finessing. You a hold down man, suitcase this. My cell phone and my charger don't walk with a limp. You get it knocked off or missing, you gon' get it. Next time I see your ass, you gon' leave airlifted. What's up, y'all? You already know, man. K-Frog TV back in the building. Y'all go ahead and do me that solid favor, man. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And also make sure you hit the notification bell so you can see it first. Welcome back to the channel, y'all. If this is your first time tuning in, my name's K-Frog. And all of the things I talk about on this channel happen to be jail, prison related. I want people to know what it's truly like behind them bars when you find yourself out of sight, out of mind, stuck in the system. Alright, for this video here, I'm going to be talking about John Doe letters and the situations that occur when you receive them and how it feels to actually get them. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like doing this video because, I look at my life now compared to, who I had around before I got incarcerated years ago. And there's so many people missing out of my life right now, you know what I'm saying, that were around back then that are no longer around. And it's always like the same routine, which, out of sight, out of mind. You get what I'm saying? And people kind of like wave the flag. They throw in that towel, you know what I'm saying, while you're gone and you're locked up. And it sucks to receive, a John Doe letter. You feel me? And the reason that, we call them John Doe letters is because, back in the day, like in the military, when people would receive letters of affection from their loved ones, it would start with like Dear John or like stuff like that. So they just happen to be called John Doe letters, you know what I'm saying? So when I first received my first few John Doe letters, I was already ready for it. You get what I'm saying? Now, I received them at a young age in the juvenile program. You feel me? I had females write me letters, leave me while I was locked up as a juvenile. So once it happened in the county jail, and, by the time I hit prison, I remember telling my bunkies, uh-oh, here it goes. Here it goes. Like, hitting them with my elbow, like, oh, here it goes. Look, here goes my Dear John letter. Because they always start with, like, a compliment. You feel me? Like, my opinion, the way it worked with, my experience, is normally you'll get a letter from a female, and it'll be like, hey, boo, or what's up, babe, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But every John Doe letter that I received started with like, Frog, you're an amazing man. Or to be like, Frog, I always love you. Like, the way they start, it's like, oh, you could just tell off that first line makes you not even want to read the rest of that shit. You feel me? Because it's a hurt feeling, because it seems like they're giving up on you. And a lot of times, things be going straight. Y'all ain't even got to be arguing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all could be in a healthy relationship. It could be a strong, healthy, vibe where y'all, y'all are getting through the time. You feel me? And first thing that comes to your mind, which 9 times out of 10, if it isn't going on right then, it's on the verge of happening, is there's another man involved. You feel me? Every time I received one of them letters, first thing I'm reading, I'm like, oh man, I throw that bitch in there and I tell my bug, I don't even want to read it. And they be like, what you mean? I be like, bro, look how it started, bro. I could just tell by the way it started. And I be like, oh, bro, she finna be out there, someone else. I already know how it goes. You feel me? And since I learned at a young age, it didn't really hurt me as much as I got older. You feel me? And I actually learned, you know, to like get rid of what I cared about before I went to prison. You see, like when I was in the county jail, you know, I was in a 4-year relationship by the time I hit the county jail, you know, and they gave me 30 days in the box in the county. And while I was in the box, I broke up with my old lady. Me and my old lady split up. I got out of the box, and within like 15 days later, I got sentenced to 60 months, which is a 5-year sentence. Went to prison. You know, it sucked. You know, I was so used to that person, but at the same time, I'm gone for, you know, 60 months. You get what I'm saying? There's nothing that is gonna make me believe you gonna be loyal or faithful. You feel me? So I had to like put myself through that pressure, you know, in order to make it to where they're not putting the pressure on me while I'm locked up. Because I did time in the county jail, arguing on the phone with old ladies, you know what I'm saying, screaming and shit. They come to visit, I'm yelling at them, telling them to drop the money, send the pictures. You know how it all starts. First, you know, the everything is in routine, you feel me? Like, I feel like when you're sitting in the county, you know, and you don't have a bond, so you can't bond out, you're stuck on like a violation of probation or something, and you find yourself locked up, it seems like your other half shows as much as they can until your court date. Now, it's like, if you don't come home that first court date, they start slacking. You feel me? At first, they put that bread in your account. They come to Vizzo. You know, that mail's there. Them pictures are sent like they say. You ain't even got to remind them. You know what I'm saying? But then once you know, you sit in there them first 40, 45 days, and, you know, then you go to court and they continuance and push you off another like 45 days. So now they're like, okay, you know, they thought so highly that you were coming home that court date and you didn't. So they kind of like, you feel me? And if you find yourself in there a couple months, you're going to be arguing back and forth. And if you're not arguing, that's great. You feel me? But one thing I always learned is you don't want to hang up that phone when you're the one on the inside arguing. Which means you don't want her to hang up being mad, because that will lead her to where she's going to do what she does regardless. But that's going to lead her to doing it and feel like she had the right to do it. You see what I'm saying? So I kind of learned like skirt at a young age. You know, my dad taught me a few things when I was younger, you feel me? To not be so worried about what's going on the streets, because it's going to go on regardless. You know, so I've had problems locked up where they think I don't care about them, because when they want to argue and shit, I'll be like, man, I'll call you in a couple days, and hang up. Then they're screaming at me, oh, I put money on the phone and you ain't calling me. You don't care not to call me. And it's really, I ain't trying to argue with you. You know, they think I'm just in jail, living my life, enjoying it and everything, when really I'm just not trying to go down that toxic ass path while I'm in jail, because I know I'm facing some time. You see what I'm saying? But getting them John Doe letters are like the worst. One of my very first ones I got when I was young, I'll never forget. It started like I said, Frog, you're an amazing man. And I was like, oh, here it goes, right? And tried to say, oh, you know, I was a juvenile. The girl was a juvenile. You know, we were both like 16 years old or something like that. And she was like, oh, you know, my parents, you know, they're not gonna, you know, they're making it so hard. They're never gonna approve of us being. So she tried to use the parents as the excuse to shit on me while I was locked up. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, damn, dog. You feel me? And then another John Doe letter I got was like, you know, Frog, I always love you. You always had that special part in my heart. Blah, 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 blah. But, you know, this and that. And boop, boop. And she went back with her ex, a different girl. You feel me? So, you know, both of my two little ones when I was younger, I'm like, that shit taught me right there to expect it. You feel me? And it made it easier as I got older. Now, inside of prison, same thing. Couple letters came from a bunch of females, because, you know, I was hopping around before I went up the road. So I had a bunch of them on standby. And it seems like the ones that I expected to ride flopped. And the ones that I didn't expect to ride was the ones that, you know, stepped up to the plate and handled up while I was locked up. You know what I'm saying? Ones that I like never took serious or never thought about locking in with or considered my girl or anything were the ones that was sending that bread, sending them pictures, answering the phone, moving money around for me, like doing things that I needed her to do that I can't do from the inside. You know, like, it's like they got more to, you know, try to put out there to get my attention. Like, yeah, all these other females, like females that I could talk to about my female, you know, those ones were riding way more than my actual bitch should, you know what I'm saying? So when they do that, you know, they kind of like, they're trying to improve, you know, they're gonna try to show you all they can, and you know what I'm saying, and try to make you sense that. But I didn't sense that, because I went in there feeling like they all the same, which it is. No matter how good or how bad it is, you find yourself out of sight, out of mind. Either they gonna cut it off with you and they're gonna end up doing something with someone else by the time you get out. And even if you got, you know, broke off your first year in there and you get out in 4 years after, so say 5 years, right? So 4 years after the breakup, you get out, she's obviously got a new man or something by then, because the love for you ain't really there no more. You've been gone. You're gonna feel like she cheated on you with that dude. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, at the end of the day, regardless if it's good turns or bad turns, you're still gonna feel like you were tried, you know? And I've seen some people go over the edge inside a prison due to these damn John Doe letters, okay? And I'm gonna tell y'all a couple things I seen people do. One, I seen a dude, all he cared about was the phone, which I've been there. I've been someone that only cared about the phone, because if you can't talk to people on the outside world, you can't make any money bigger than what's inside a prison. You get what I'm saying? You can only make so many plays in here before you get like a cap on how much you can make, you know? So I was always the one fighting over the phones and shit like that too, you know what I'm saying? But this one dude, all he cared about was the phone. 24/7, 24/7, you know? And I knew, the whole dorm knew that, you know, he was obviously in love with his old lady or whatever. That boy received the John Doe letter. It all started by her not answering for a couple days, you know? And then being a fellow inmate with him, he kind of like try to let him know, man, fuck that bitch, you know what I'm saying? Just, man, he got shit to worry about in here, dog. You know what I'm saying? Just, it is what it is. And the easiest thing to tell someone when you're locked up with them is, she gonna be trying to run back when you get out, you know that. And everybody wants to think that, you know? Everybody wants to be like, yeah, she'll be back as soon as I try to get out. And when you're the person that's getting shitted on, you hope they try to run back when you get out. You feel me? You keep telling yourself like, oh, I know she's gonna, I know, because deep down you want to feel okay that she's leaving now. You feel me? But she wasn't answering. So we started, you know, trying to tell him, like, man, fuck that bitch. You know, you gotta worry about surviving in here, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, it is what it is. She's out there doing what she does. Everybody knows who Jody is. You know, she probably got a Jody out there. It is what it is. Because like I said, you know, you got ones that break it off and find a boyfriend, or you got ones that were doing that shit while you were gone, or you got ones that will end up, you know, being there for you the whole time, like they love you, and then low-key they're doing what they're doing. You know, that cat got to get scratched. You feel me? And you can also get out, everything felt peaches and cream, and then when you get out, you find out about some shit from other people. You're like, damn, and it's gonna feel like she just cheated on you, when really she did this shit 3 years ago when you were locked up. You feel what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, regardless, it ends up being bad. If you get out and you're back with the same girl you were with when you were locked up, she was just good at it, dog. She made it to where out of sight, out of mind, dog. Or she was one of them very small percentages, which a lot of people's gonna think their old lady was, that was loyal and faithful, you know, but those are rare breeds. You know what I'm saying? That's like trying to find a pure white apple. Pearly white, the whole apple, the skin, everything, the inside. Man, you know how rare it'd be to find that motherfucker? You know, that's how, you know, when you compare the two. But anyways, we're telling the dude, you know, man, just fall back from her. Don't call for a couple days. He can't stay away from the phone, you feel me? So next thing you know, we peep game and we realized he wasn't eating or nothing. That boy was straight up stressing. He was, you know, he tried to stay away from the phone. She wasn't answering, you know. He swore he was expecting pictures and letters. The letters and pictures stopped coming. He'd be waiting there in line like he was used to, you know, like he knew he was getting mail, but he wasn't receiving mail. And next thing you know, you could just tell he looked sick. That boy got all small, skinny, scrawny. She had his ass in there losing weight. He was going through it, you know what I'm saying? And there's nothing you can do. Your hands are tied because you're locked up, you understand? Now, that was one thing. That was a little, you feel me? I seen a couple people, start losing weight, feeling like they can't eat. They have no appetite. They're kind of like going through it. You know what I'm saying? But it gets worse, okay? Had other people in there that received a John Doe letter that got violent. Anytime they'd get a letter, they'd scream. You'd hear them in their cell, flipping their own cell, throwing shit, throwing their damn, clothes against the wall, or, just damaging their own belongings because there's nothing you can really do. And then, of course, that led to them attacking inmates. See, I was always one of them people, if something got me in a bad mood, I feel like anything somebody did locked up would get me to pop off. You understand? Like something that you could do on a normal day that really isn't like trying me or anything like that. On a day that I'm pissed off, I might catch myself reacting to that even more. You know what I'm saying? This individual, every time he'd get a John Doe letter, he'd always get in a fight with somebody. He would take his anger out on people who were in there with him. You know what I'm saying? And it'd be people he was kind of cool with, because afterwards, he's cool with them again. You know what I'm saying? And people would tell him, man, that girl getting in your head. You know what I'm saying? You walk around here with your chest out looking for anybody to get into it with, all because of that girl, because you can't control that girl. That girl's out there doing whatever the hell she wants. You know what I'm saying? And it's like she can mess with your head. You feel me? And then as soon as you distance yourself from them for a while, don't worry about them, they'll send you that love letter to try to twirl your head and get in your brain all over again. You feel me? That's why you got to suit yourself up and you got to armor yourself up and be prepared. Don't let them come back and try to play with your feelings while you locked up. You feel me? And it was like clockwork. This dude, he was younger than a lot of us, but he'd always get in a fight and either, be cool with the individuals again, or he'd go to confinement. He'd have to go lay down because he was in the box. You feel me? And then now you got to look at it. You're in the box now, which means you got even less ways of getting a hold of the outside world. There's no phone calls now. You see what I'm saying? Now it's strictly mail. You feel me? And at the end of the day, when they go missing for a little bit, pew, you know what it is. If you got an old lady in there and she starts an argument with you out of nowhere, or leaves you out of nowhere, and a couple months go by, you don't hear from her, what you think she did that for? Just like you would on the streets back in the day, start a fight with your old lady so you go out and have a reason to cheat. It's the same thing that they be doing when you're gone. You feel me? You gotta understand this and don't let nobody play with you, because you're already in a danger environment. You know what I'm saying? You're already in an environment that is dangerous, to where you got a lot more to worry about in here than that precious shit that you can't even touch right now out there. You feel me? So he always would go to confinement and then be in the box and then really be going through it, And that was all because of the letters he would receive anytime it was a breakup letter. And I'm talking about like clockwork. I remember like a year went by, right? And I'm talking about a year after seeing him get in trouble a couple times and go to the box. It was like a year later, and I had got moved into like 2 different dorms. I went to the box, got out, placed in this dorm, went to the box, got out, placed over there, and I remember seeing him across the compound, tussling with the guards on the way to the box. I go to chow hall, one of my dogs are in there. Oh man, dumbass went to the box again. He got a letter from that girl and this and this and that. I'm like, damn, a year later, he's still dealing with the same shit. Like, that shit is exhausting. Stressing over someone is exhausting, though. Straight like that. Like, trying to play stalker mode or force someone to be with you or any of that. That shit is an exhausting ass lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And he kept dealing with it, dealing with it, and deal with it. You feel me? Now, for the final one that I'm going to talk about that, received a John Doe letter, and a couple people kind of took this route, but not the same way, is they'd harm themselves. Believe it or not, in prison, you see that a lot. You see a lot. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people that do that. They literally like feel like they're lost to the world. They feel like all they have is that person on the streets. Like how a person's supposed to feel about their kids. A lot of people feel like that when they're locked up about their partner. They feel like that person out there is their lifeline. And sometimes when them people, clear it on you and they wave that flag and throw that flag in, some people can't cope with it, And I've met a bunch of people that were actually in the psych dorm for harming themselves that, you know, made it through them trying to harm themselves. You know what I'm saying? And some people didn't make it. You know, some people literally ended themselves over this, you know? That's how manipulating a letter can be. You understand? Because you know that individual. So it's just like a text message. You know, when you're reading a text message on your phone from somebody or a letter, when you're reading them words, you're hearing them say that. You feel me? So if you got somebody that, you know, always loved you and y'all were always good and you had nothing but paradise visions with and nothing but great memories with, now you're locked up and you're incarcerated, and then now you're getting one of these letters, you're visualizing it of them telling you that they don't love you no more, they can't do this no more, basically that they're giving up on you, they're quitting on you. And some people can't cope with that, you know, and they take that demon route. You know what I'm saying? That's why you gotta learn, man, to suit up, like I said, and be prepared for this shit. You feel me? You gotta learn to prepare yourself for these type of things, you know? My dad, rest in peace to him, he went to prison a couple times when I was younger. And I heard this from my mom, rest in peace to her too. And I heard this from my grandma, rest in peace to her too. You know, different times in my life, that he cut off everything he cared about before he went to prison. So when he was in prison, he had nothing to worry about. They would send him mail, he never wrote back. You know what I'm saying? He got out of prison, went to visit my grandma and give her some money. And she was like, oh my God, welcome home. And was so excited to see her son. Because at that time, I think he went and did 5 years. He didn't, he didn't speak to nobody. Not even his mom or nothing. She dropped him off at the courthouse to turn himself in. And, you know. But like 5.5 years later, he shows up to her house, gives her some money. Here you go, mom, blah, 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 blah. She's like, oh my God, you're out. And he's like, nah, mom, I've been out like 6 months. And she told me this. She was heartbroken. Because it shows he wasn't that quick to just get out and run and see his mother. And my dad told me he cut ties of everything he cared about while he was locked up. It was easier to do that, harder to do it when you're thinking about something you can't control. You feel me? And you got to look at it. What do you respect more? This is a good question for the comment section. What do you respect more? A female who breaks it off with you after no matter what you've been through, no matter how long you've been together, how great everything was, but she breaks it off with you, throws in the flag on you, you know, once you catch your time. Me, that's a stab to the chest, because it's like, damn, this shit broke us. You ain't 100 like you said you is. Is that worse? Or is it worse when a female's there for you, but she's low-key like a snake doing shit on the low, and then you get out and you find out about it? You see? That's like a... Also, right? So regardless how you look at it, you know, it's... Whether it's this way or that way, they both end the same. They both, you know? So that's why you gotta build yourself and you gotta be prepared for this shit, you know what I'm saying? Don't let it, you know, shock you on who doesn't ride for you, you feel me? Whoever shits on you, don't be surprised, you know? Let it shock you about who does ride for you, you understand? Don't put that much, you know, faith in somebody on the streets when you're locked up. Because the best relationships either go downhill or they got a lot of shit swept up under the rug, a lot of secrets. You know what I'm saying? And you think about it. They may have shitted on you or cheated on you the beginning of your bid. You get out years later. You get home. Everything's fine and dandy. You know you love her. Y'all are back together. You don't know any of the dirt she did or anything. Eventually, it's going to rise. It's going to come out. Or you're going to be looking in that person's eyes while you're making love to them. And they're going to be lying to you in your face for the rest of your life about what they did while you were gone. Like I said, there's a short percentage of people that can be loyal and faithful. You know what I'm saying? And I'll probably hear about some of them in the comment section. But everybody is going to swear they're loyal ones. You see? Think about it. If there's only a 15% amount of people who are loyal and faithful the whole time that you're gone, there will be 90% people are going to say they were holding their loved one down while they were locked up. You see what I'm saying? So there's going to be a lot of people that, you know, can lie. They can do whatever they want. But they can't lie to themselves. And they'll always have that burden of that secret within, you feel me? Because they couldn't write that damn letter. You feel me? If they would have wrote that letter breaking it off, you know what I'm saying? That John Doe letter, then it would have been like, all right, you know, I don't want to hurt them, so I'm going to go ahead and leave them now before anything happens. You know? And then, because they knew they weren't strong enough to ride your entire bid. You feel me? But I just want to come on here and share this with y'all and talk to y'all about this. Now, for the people watching, if y'all ever received one of these types of letters, drop it in the comment section. Let me know what you went through. How'd they word it? How'd they start your letter? Like, did you know off the first line that they were trying to break that shit off? Like, what was the outcome of it? And did they try to come back? Because one thing I will tell y'all, that every single person I've ever received a John, letter from, every single one of them have always tried to come back. Once you get down to that last year, that's when the mail starts coming in and the pictures. They want to be the one to put the hooks in you before you get out, because they want people to think they were loyal the whole time. They'll ride the first year, shit on you for 3 years, and then try to come back that last year. And then, so when you get out, if you're with her, it'll look like she was riding for you your entire bid, which be cap. But they do shit like that. But then again, if you fall for it, you might be a duck or looked at like a duck, you know, like a green bean, you feel me? A simp, because other people may know what she's been doing. Like, Dan, look at these pictures she's been posting with this guy. She's supposed to be holding down Frog. He's in prison. And then boom, you get out years later, oh, Frog's with her, even though she was with all these dudes she was posting on Facebook. Feel me? And I will say this, a lot of them, and this is from experience, a lot of them won't even post pictures of that guy. You feel me? They'll try to make it to where the only thing posted on their Facebook is you while you're gone. Even if y'all ain't talking no more, they won't post that often. And it'll have all your pictures still on their Facebook, so for anybody looking on social media, it looks like they riding for you still. And really, y'all ain't been together in 2 years. That right there is a sign to let you know they're gonna try to come back around when you go to get out. You feel me? My whole meaning of the video is to let y'all know, suit yourself up and be prepared for these type of videos. You know what I'm saying? And learn how to handle them. And don't put too much trust in people. You feel me? And you'll be all right. And I wanted y'all to know the type of dudes that I came across and the way they reacted when they got these damn letters. You feel me? But anyways, that's all I got for y'all, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like, subscribe button. You feel me? Y'all catch me on the gaming channel, K-Frog Gaming. I'll be over there vibing. And like I always say, keep them rats, squares, clowns, chomos, pedos, gunners, wannabe island boys, and clout chasers out your circle. And until next time, this is the one and only. I am my team, Frog.
I'm a criminal, I'm a cool nigga, but I got a limit though.
I'm a cool nigga, but I got a limit though, cause I'm a criminal, yeah, I'm a criminal.